She had a knife in one hand and pepper spray in the other.
A family throwdown gets spicy.
She sprayed me with pepper spray.
She was just a punk and didn't want to come outside.
You know you've been acting bad, bad, bad.
Ooh, bad girls you love to hate. Today on Judge Joe Brown.
A catfight full of flying candles and bottles of booze all over a man's decision to pack up and move. Hairstylist LaToya Jones is suing the defendants for property damage. Defendants LaTanya Jeffries and Deja Lewis say the plaintiff commissioned them to a fight. Now it's Joe time.
Ms. Jones, you're suing Ms. Jeffries and Ms. Lewis, and you are alleging from your complaint that they committed either vandalism or acts of malicious mischief against your home place and various personal items therein.
Yes, Your Honor.
Paraphrasing the position of the two defendants collectively and singularly, it's the plaintiff had it coming. Now, ma'am, from your complaint, I take it that on December 15th of 2012, it is your position that you helped one of your family members take some of his stuff or his personal possessions from Miss Jeffries' home. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, Joe Brown.
Now, it's a he. By any chance, does he, to your knowledge, information, or belief, have some sort of relationship with Ms. Jeffries?
Yes, they have a child together.
All right. Now, you allege that she indicated her upset to this series of events, and that on December 16th, 2012, the next day, she showed up with 5 friends demanding that you step outside and fight or something like that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell me what happens.
Okay.
Right there out front. How does this go down?
Well, I heard through another cousin that she wanted to fight me, and I called my aunt, and I spoke to my aunt about the situation.
This is your aunt?
Yes.
Come on up. Please, ma'am. That's Ms. Jones, Risa Jones.
Yes.
That right, ma'am? All right. Hold tight. I'll come to you in a minute. You are a school bus driver here in the LA Unified School District, or is it for one of the charter schools?
LA Unified School District.
Okay. Ms. LaToya Jones, would you please continue with the story?
So I called my aunt and told her about the situation, that LaTanya wanted to fight me. And my aunt called LaTanya and spoke with LaTanya.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Tell me what transpired.
Well, I told LaTanya that I was sorry about what had occurred between our family member and her. Then I also was trying to talk her into not going over to my niece's house. But at the time I was saying that, she was already telling me, F that, I'm already at her effing house, and the B better come outside. So at that moment, the phone hung up, and that was it.
Now, let's go back to the plaintiff. What's going on outside at this point?
Okay, after my aunt talked to her, I guess she pulled up with 3 females and 2 males, I guess.
2 males?
Yes. And they walked up, well, the 3 females, including LaTanya, walked up to my house, beating on the door. She had a knife in one hand and pepper spray in the other, and beat on the door.
A knife?
Yes. So as she came to the door, she came to the
with
metal
a knife
door,
in one hand?
with a knife in one hand and pepper spray in the other.
Pepper spray in the other.
I opened the wooden door and I asked her what's going on, and she sprayed me with pepper spray through the metal door. And I slammed the door, and I ran to the kids because it was a skunk outside. The shading to the lamp, you know, the outside front lamp, it's called a skunk. And she threw it in the window, and it hit the TV, and the TV tilted over and busted in front of the children.
52-inch television.
In front of the children, and blew up.
Okay, now one of the children was rather startled when the thing blew up right in front of his face.
Yes, right in front of him. And
now, is that the year-old, well, I guess, was it the 6-year-old?
The 6-year-old, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And as that happened, I shield my daughter while they're busting the windows open with the skunk and whatever else they had. I don't know if it was a gun. They used a weapon. I don't know what it was, but they used something to bust the windows. And I'm shielding my daughter, and I'm pulling them to the room out of harm's way. And I'm calling 911 at the same time. And my aunt is on her way, and she pulled up, and she sees them pull off.
How much damage was done to the home, please?
About rounding off,
1364.87. You're
Your
suing
Honor.
for $300 for 3 broken windows, $100 for a broken window border, $864 for the depreciated value of the flat screen TV. And since you had to pay for this, $100.87 for 2 broken sets of window blinds. All right, let's go to the defendants. I'll say you. Which one of you wants to speak first? Miss Jeffries, seems like you were the aggrieved party. What's the matter here?
I'll speak. Hi, Judge Joe Brown.
Oh, hello.
The day before the incident that she's talking about, she came over to, I guess, protect a family member that I have a child with. Long story short, my door was kicked, my screen door that I had to replace, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Long story short, she shouldn't even came to my house.
A family member asked her to help him move out.
He
What's
don't
wrong
need
with it?
her. He didn't need her to help him move out.
Basically, they came over.
Wait,
They came over
excuse
there.
me.
It was 5
I
other
thought
females.
the 13th Amendment was ratified in 1866 that ended slavery and involuntary
That's
servitude.
fine, but he didn't need
Now,
nobody to
when
help
did
him
he
move out.
need your permission?
He didn't, because he lived with me. I was allowing him. I was helping him to
There's
stay out of the
slavery
street.
down in the hood?
No, I mean, hey, it might be. It might be.
Where did you
Slavery
buy him?
might be in the hood. It might be.
Where did you buy him?
I didn't buy him, but
Then how
he
can
didn't
you
buy me
dictate
either.
to somebody grown what he does, whether he moves in or
Well,
out?
he
Under
needed her help,
California law
supposedly.
is felony kidnapping, restraint.
Anyways,
So you restrained him against his
I
will,
didn't
and you
restrain him. He
deprived
was
him
leaving.
of personal property, and she couldn't help him move out?
no, it wasn't that. She wasn't there to try to help him. She was outside drinking Moscato and calling children's services on people. She wasn't trying to help nobody, nothing. She didn't grab not a bag. Me and Deja Lewis and one of my other cousins that's not here right now, she helped us get the bags, and the officers was at the door. So she never even came in to help get no bags. So with that being said, that happened. Then the next day she was calling out fades, saying she wanted to fight people. One of their other girl cousins
She
called.
wanted to fight you.
She wanted to fight me.
Why?
Because she was mad.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
Are you a heathen?
Maybe. I'm a beast.
Wait, hold on. Before you move her, leave her there. Leave her there. Miss Sonia, leave her there. Leave her there. Leave her there. Bring her back.
It's Joe time after this. Bad girls you love to hate today on Judge Joe Brown.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says her boyfriend's cousin showed up at their house with a knife and pepper spray, ready to fight. She says the defendant then threw a candle through her window, breaking her TV. Let's get back to the case.
What was she mad about?
Words were exchanged in front of the house, and I guess she felt like
What words were exchanged?
it was just words.
Did
Words
she
that
come
you
to
had.
your place
Well, his
on
dead
the
daughter and
16th
everything
of
else.
December, a year past? Yes or no?
Yes, she did. She
On the
came.
16th?
On the 15th.
On
This
the
is when
I
it
didn't
initially
say
started.
15th. When I made that interjection in the form of an inquiry, I said, Madam, ma'am, Ms. Jeffries, did the plaintiff or did she not come to your home place on or about the 16th day of December last year, meaning 2012? Yes or no? And you might explain if there is any equivocation.
It was my place, so no, she didn't.
All right,
she, came
she
the day
did
before.
not. Did you
She came the day
journey
before,
to her?
so I came the next day.
Stop talking.
Slow down.
Did you journey by her home place?
She sure did. She was
Access
calling
to
out Phage. You know
Her
what that
cousin
means?
called bright and early in the morning,
Saying Toya want to
and
fight.
Toya wants to fight.
I'm about to line that up.
So her cousin said she was
And
going to orchestrate.
we're going to get this together.
The
And then when it got lined up, she punked out, didn't want to fight. When we got there, she threw a Mexican candle at me. And when the candle, I threw it back at her and it broke her window. Yep, sure did. But she threw the weapon and I threw it back.
Did you know who was inside the place?
We didn't come with a knife.
She
I
could have
didn't
had a
come with
whole
any
posse
weapons,
in there
sir.
waiting to warm
Your
some
Honor, I
head
didn't
up
come
in
with any
there.
weapons.
Well, they should have came
None,
out
but
because they
these.
came the day before.
I came with these.
They
She
came
didn't
the day
want
before.
them. Period,
Period,
point blank.
point
She
blank.
threw a candle out, and I
Period,
threw the
point
candle
blank.
back.
Oh,
And
man.
we
Look,
had
look,
a
look,
Hennessy
look,
bottle,
look, look,
and
look.
we threw that through the window too.
Look, back
That
in
part.
the late 50s,
Girl, I'm not
back in
here
the
to
late
lie.
50s,
Extra out.
back
put
in the
extras
late
on nothing.
50s. Be quiet, I'm gonna
tell
give you
you.
something you need to know.
Calm down.
You live in Los
Listen to
Angeles.
the judge.
Well, if you live in Los
Excuse
Angeles,
me,
you know
be
the rules
quiet
in
and
Los
learn
Angeles.
something.
If you ain't about
Be
this
quiet
life, don't
and
act
learn
like you
something.
Okay, listen.
Watch, quit being a fool. She's at her
I'm not
own
being
place.
a fool. I'm
You
not
went
being
by
a fool.
there.
I'm just telling you
Put
how
your
it
hand
is
off your
and
hip.
how it happened. She acted extras. People already got cases out here, all that knives and guns and stuff. Don't nobody got time for
You
that.
why they
Girl,
have
you
them.
lying. Girl,
You're a
lying.
classic
You extra out.
illustration
You
of the
not about this
utility
life.
of the
You didn't want
Second
the
Amendment.
fade.
Tell her to be
On
quiet.
camera. I don't care
Okay,
nothing
calm
about
down
none
or
of
we'll
that.
go outside, okay?
Are you a heathen?
Okay, come on.
Maybe.
Let's go outside. Come on.
I'm a beast.
Wait, hold on.
I'm
Before
a
you
beast.
move
I'm
her,
not a
leave
heathen.
her there.
I'm a
Leave her
goblin,
there.
a
Miss
goon. You
Sonia,
better ask
leave her
somebody
there.
who
Leave her
know
there.
me.
Leave her there. Bring her back.
T.
I'm worried about your
No, you
10-year-old
ain't worried about
son.
me. You worried about these lies that you hearing.
I'm looking
just
at
telling
your
you the truth of
conduct.
what
Is this
happened.
what your
That's
son
lying,
has to
straight
judge
up.
his
That's
appropriate
lying,
behavior
lying.
with? Mama?
Yeah, that's that mentality.
Ignorant.
This one.
Sad.
I know
Very
she keeps using a name that's derogatory to
threatening
what
her.
she
Yeah,
is,
she is
but
threatening
anyway.
She's threatening her pretty bad out there too. Yeah.
Oh, she's a real deputy. She retired after 20 years with L.A. County. She ain't worried about that. Miss Sonia has some skills. Now, people wonder where all of this comes from in Chicago, D.C., New York, Harlem, Los Angeles, Compton. That's it.
Yeah.
See, I was going to tell her a story to try and chill her out. Back in the 50s when I was in junior high school at John Muir, and I was telling you about this gang thing. It was Slausons, Vikings, Businessmen, Bobtown, De La Soul, and a few others. And the interesting thing is there were a lot of very decent working people that lived in that area at that time, but there were a few of what the housewives, real ones, the working mothers and the people and families called women of ill repute. And it seemed that all of the little snot-nosed 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade little punks that were always crying for mama got all bad when they became Slausons, Dell Vikings, or businessmen about the time they finished the 7th grade. Interestingly enough, every single mama was a mama of ill repute, where she's got 10, 12, 14 kids, hadn't heard of the word husband in the family for 4 or 5 generations. And if they're getting a check, nobody knows what a job is at school, and everybody had to put up with these fools who tried to go around taking out their lack of manliness on everybody, and it was a bunch of them. As always, the smallest one tried to mess with somebody when he had 10 people backing him up. 6 months before, he was always crying about everything.
We'll be back with more Judge Joe Brown in a moment.
So you come in here in front of me when this is actual arbitration under California law, and she clowns with somebody looking. What the devil am I supposed to think she did out there when nobody was?
Did a wedding disaster cost you money and somebody needs to pay? Call 1-877-JOE'S-LAW or visit JudgeJoeBrown.com. It's Joe time after this. Bad girls you love to hate today on Judge Joe Brown.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The defendants in this case say the plaintiff showed up with a bunch of women swinging a bottle of Moscato, talking about moving out her man. She says the plaintiff challenged her to a fight, and it was on. Let's get back to the case.
That fool just does not know. But you see, son, 10 years old, where do you think he will have gotten what I hope he does not get? When somebody's asking him, look, brother, why don't you chill a little bit? Hey, come do it. You know, his mama's acting like that. The problem is that when somebody's mama was around, everybody said, oh man, be quiet, man. Dude's mama's around, chill. Oh yeah, man, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But see, nowadays when somebody's mama's around, who's gonna chill? When the worst acting somebody on the street's gonna be your mama. You have a son, just a year old, it's not too late for you at all. Prime time. Just I would suggest to you that if you do not want a problem every time he looks like he's getting out of line, the way you scold him is, boy, you need to learn how to act like a man. Men don't do that. So you kept it in check. Who's doing that now? At one point, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, it was more dangerous walking around the block over there in the hood than it was having on an American uniform in downtown Baghdad in 2003. Now, why do you think this is going on? But because the boys have that with somebody's mama that they're close to. Now, the transgression is going to your place. She walks over there with intent to do harm and violence. If she walked up there with knife in hand, pepper spray, did what she did, you don't have to worry about dragging anybody inside. That might have been a justifiable homicide case, a self-defense case, if she'd gotten her fool self blown right away as soon as she tried to get through the door. Under California law, that's arguably a tumultuous entry. I'm not going to tell you to go do that, but that's what you put yourself in peril of. So you come in here in front of me when this is actual arbitration under California law, and she clowns with somebody looking. What the devil am I supposed to think she did out there when nobody was? But first off, you don't own anybody. If you got a relationship with somebody, it's a relationship. If the two of you choose to be around with each other, good. You might consider marriage, maybe, but don't get anybody that doesn't have a job or pay so much money to the bail bondsman or his lawyer or the court cost that everybody's broke. That's not doing you any good, any of you. And please give these boys and your daughters an exhibition of appropriate ladylike behavior. And maybe the boys will grow up with the idea that their job is to protect their areas, to make them more economically viable and prosperous, to secure order, safety for the women in the area, the children in the area, and have some decent outlook on what they're supposed to be about so it becomes a nice place to live instead of hell.
Closed captioning for Judge Joe Brown, sponsored by... Did your ex cheat on you and cost you money? Call 1-877-JOE'S-LAW or visit judgejoebrown.com.
Did she do anything? Or did you see her?
Yeah, she was one of them that bust a window, or help bust the remaining windows. As she bust them, she just finished it off, you know.
Okay, your award against Defendant Lewis is $250. Your particular award against Miss Jeffries is as follows: $1,200 actual, and if I think about it, I might call the city attorney's office and have somebody come down here and investigate this situation and determine whether they want to charge her with a number of criminal offenses I can think of.
Speaking on me?
This courtroom is now in recess.
Some families plan gatherings, and this was a scheduled family throwdown. The defendant was still looking for trouble here, and she found it. They both made a mess. Plaintiff wins big. We'll be right back. We are back. This family get-together tore apart the ladies and some household items, and the defendant was clearly ready for round 2 here. Both defendants made this mess. It's time to clean up. Plaintiff wins big. To submit your case or check out new video clips, visit Facebook or judgejoebrown.com.